So we've covered a lot already, Ellen, in terms of, galactic beings, the spiritual war being played out, the way humanity's been dumbed down, the way history's been rewritten, the absolute illusion that we've become embroiled in. And I just want to kind of move on more towards multidimensionality. And you've accessed this a lot through your out-of-body experiences and psychic phenomena. So these kind of things, is that the only portal into these other worlds or other selves, through these out-of-body experiences and our psychic kind of 4D astral level?
I'm sorry, would you reframe that question? I didn't hear the first part.
Well, I'm just thinking that if somebody's not in touch with their psychics part, can they still access their multidimensionality?
Well, in some ways, everybody accesses that through their dream state, and really just throughout your life, even if you're unaware of what you're experiencing sometimes. So to some degree, you can, but some of it does require spiritual work, and there's a reason for that. You came to this lower reality to cut yourself off from the light, to work your way back into it, from a conscious perspective in your physical embodiment. So you are required in some regards to do your spiritual work. There's not going to be really a way to skip that. And what that means is to clear your conscience, to, heal any kind of issues that you have with other people in your life, to realign with source, to remember in your lowest reality. That's the key, is to remember your soul in this reality. That's why we came to cut ourselves off and to see if we could get our way back. And everybody that's here on this planet is a warrior, a spiritual warrior. You were chosen for this, and you and many souls wanted to come into this experience and were not allowed to because they weren't prepared for it, and you were. So the key is to really get into remembrance on a soul level of who you are, and that starts to open up those portals for you, so that you start to have other phenomenon. And of course, in order to get there, you have to first have an open mind. You can't, I promise you that when I was in my early 20s, I didn't think aliens were real. I didn't know if God was real. I had no really concept there. I had a closed mind. And it wasn't until I started to open my mind and say, well, what if? Well, what would it look like? Well, could you tell me? That then I started to receive information. So when you just have a closed mind, you're not going to get the information, because you already closed that portal. Your mind is a portal. If it's closed, you're not going to get other information. So you really need to have an open mind and also an open heart. Those are the two areas that most humans really struggle with. They close their heart because they've been hurt or wounded. And so you got to open your heart and you got to open your mind and then explore. What if? Start asking questions. It's nothing but fun at that point, because once you start asking questions and you start getting answers, it becomes infinitely beautiful.
I mean, that was one of the things that motivated me to set up Free Thinkers Hub, is that the level of questioning has been so censored, and that there's a lot of people with open minds on this planet who don't have places to go. So it's definitely I like that thing about open mind and open heart, and there's no shortcuts to this, because it is about praying, meditating, aligning with one's true self, connecting with your divinity, your true power, and that's a daily practice. And for many people, they're very happy to go for a jog in the morning or a bike ride or do other kind of training. Where this is like equally staying fit on all levels, isn't it? By just taking that time aside to really connect on an inner level. one of the things, just because we're coming to the end of our talk here, and one of the things that, is coming across is that we're all victims of warfare here, aren't we? We're being constantly assaulted. Our true selves are being constantly assaulted, diverted, tricked from our inner divinity, from our true enlightened selves. Our free will is being compromised. So, just in terms of that, what's your vision of the future for humanity? I know that you talked about a timeline being similar to the time of when Jesus was around, and truth being really denied and persecuted. So so what kind of timeline do you feel that we're going towards, and how long might that take?
Yeah, I did do a video on that in terms of our timelines being hacked at this time, and really we're in a loop. And we're in a loop again where they are burning the library and crucifying the witches, or crucifying the Christs or the Christos beings, the truthers. And so where do I see that going? I still see us winning. But again, I don't have a deadline there. There's not an actual, I think if anybody gives you an actual date, it's kind of a little, I wouldn't trust that exactly. But I know that humanity will win, and I still have faith in humanity. But it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to require people to each do their individual part. And yeah, we are on a timeline there, but we're also seeing, especially in the last maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months, we've seen a lot of wins for the light. We had a dark blanket covering us the last couple of years, 3-4 years, but the light's been puncturing holes through that because it was built on BS. And we have had some good wins recently. And I just watched a video today where they've actually filed in international courts court case against Bill and Melinda Gates and Boris and several others that were included in it for crimes against humanity. So it's actually filed in international courts already, which is a big step, right? We need to continue that, and we need to hold these people accountable for what they've been doing. But we still have work. That's what I see for my vision, is that we have work. We have a lot of work to do. It's going to take a lot for humanity.
Yeah, so that work's being played out in a geopolitical way, but it's also on an inner level, isn't it? And certainly I know that you hold true to this belief as well, is that our hardest experiences are our greatest blessings. And they're what makes us strong, and that what cracks open our hearts, and our real understanding of the purpose of our lives, our mission in that respect. So I guess in a sense, coupled with what you're saying is this hope, isn't it? That it's not all doom and gloom, that we are going through these dark times, but actually the gems are there to be mined, aren't they?
Yeah, well, this is a collective shadow. It's a shadow aspect that has to be healed on a collective level. We have our individual shadow that we have to learn how to integrate, and we also have a collective one. And right now what we're experiencing this world is literally a manifestation of a collective shadow that we're all part of. And so in order to, if you don't like what you're seeing in the world right now, you have to get inside of your psyche, yourself, your soul, and understand what's going on in this world. Why is it this way? And where is my part in this story? Everything that's happening at this point is because people ignored truths, stuffed all of the child molestation under the carpet because nobody wanted to look at it, and then it grew bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Swept all of the fact that there was corruption in our governments under the carpet because it was scary to look at. Nobody has time because we're so distracted and we'd rather go to Disneyland, right? And those kind of thought patterns have caused people to not face truth. And because of that, it's caused a collective problem globally. So each soul is accountable to some degree and has to take, accountability for their own part of that process. And it can be as simple as, okay, where are you putting your consciousness? Because you can plug your consciousness into anything, but wherever you plug it into is going to become your reality in the future. And the more people that are plugging it into an illusion or a false reality or a reality that really doesn't serve humanity, the more that snowball goes, has momentum. And when you pull your circuits out of that and you decide to plug your circuits into your divinity and into God, source, whatever you want to call it, all of a sudden your whole reality shifts. Everything that you think you thought was real becomes completely ludicrous, laughable, scary almost to witness. How many are plugged into that or that are caught in those spells? When you plug it into source, all of a sudden instant miracles happen. Instant.
Well,
we come from something so far greater than human mind has been allowed to perceive, that you're actually, you think you're having fun by denying reality and going to Disneyland, but you have no idea the kind of fun you're going to have when you get to astral travel and you get to plug right into God and have godlike qualities, which are already built into you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that this conversation could have taken so many different ways, and we just don't have time to cover all that. So I'd love the opportunity to talk with you again further down the line, because we'll be a bit further down the timeline as well to just take a check as to where we are. It's been absolutely fascinating to listen to you, Ellen. There's so much that you brought today to this conversation, and I'm really hoping that our viewers and listeners will take some good things away, and to really open up thinking, and not dismiss things outright. In terms of being able to find you more about your work, how is it? www.ellen.reddred.com? Is that how best to connect with you?
It's www.ellenred.com. So Ellen Red, there's no dot in between. Okay. Ellen and Red, just ellenred.com. You can also find me on through Ellen Red, and it's 2 Ds. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. I have a page called Psychic Ellen Red, and I have other Ellen Red page. I have lots of large groups and pages. Twin Flame Initiates, I'm the founder of that. And it's kind of a large group to help align with alchemical marriages. And that's also part of realigning with your soul as well. So I teach on that also. And then I have Akashic recall. So the Ellen Red, anywhere you go, just type in Ellen Red with 2 Ds, and Psychic Ellen Red on Facebook.
Well, as I said, there's so many things, so many ways that this conversation could have gone, because you've got a whole arsenal of things that you work with, at a very high level. So it's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you, to find out more about you, just to say thank you for coming today and sharing with our listeners. Obviously, I'm going to post this on Free Thinkers Hub, and I know that you're going to post it on your channels as well. So just to say thank you so much to you, Ellen, and also thank you to everyone who's tuned into this podcast episode today. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Speak again. Bye.
Okay, bye.